What's good? What's good, fans? What's good? Oh, tonight's going to be a comical night because we got Mr. Diversion over there on the other side of the screen there, who just want to divert topics and don't want to stay on base. Fans, it's going to be a tough night. Cleveland, welcome to the show, Cleveland.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the show. Let the people know right off the top where they can find you, Cleveland, because I got a feeling the fans is going to want to get at you for some of these comments. I got a feeling tonight it's going to be the night they get at you.
For sure. It's getting close to playoff time, and that's perfectly fine. But at Clevey Wonder on Twitter, at Clevey Wonder on TikTok, and Cleveland still on Instagram.
Write that down, fans, because you guys are going to want to use that information later. You can find us. Hit us up in the chat. At _ Voice of the Fans on Twitter, at _ Voice of the Fans on Twitter, or however you're watching the show, wherever you're tuning into the show, you can hit us up in the live chat. And we'll take your comments and feedback, and so you guys can be a part of the show. But each and every week we get the show started. This is Voice of the Fans podcast. It's week 287, Cleveland. 287 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. We get the show started just like this.
Who am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name is
Cameron.
Cam Buford. Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford right here.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
As a competitor, how much does that competitive spirit get in there and say, I want to fight this guy. I want to get some of this guy.
Of course, I want to fight all the guys. Of course that. But at the same time, like I keep telling you, it's a business.
Talk about that loyalty for a moment.
I'm standing there to try to make a change. Give back to the youth, get back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. Only thing is you just got to be dedicated. You got to keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
Think about it like this. The promoter pays the fighter. The fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter. The fighter works for the promoter.
Okay.
If you can see, you can believe.
So you are lifting weights currently?
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
On your team, his ball number is that number 2 option or your number 3 option? On Kenny's team, 30 nights a year, he's my number 1 option. 30 nights. Can I finish right now?
Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me? Which one?
What do you think about these upcoming?
Like I was saying before.
Well, every game's a new game, so each one's a different experience, different defense, different players, different game plan. So.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show Voice of the Fan
Oh my goodness!
continues to evolve,
You were adding some spice to it.
it is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
Real ones know what's going on, right?
Like you said, it's a different voice, so I think it's a big part of my game. And every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy
Yeah,
for the whole
yeah,
thing.
no, yeah, Cam, nobody.
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
I'm not caught up to you guys yet. I do
Knowing real surprised at that, Cam.
Hey, come here. It's okay.
Oh, this guy.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's Big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good as. Hey, man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do it.
I'm still disappointed in you, Q. We got something to talk about. But my man Bill Belichick. I guess we got to
How you doing, bro?
What's up, Barry? We got to update the highlight there because Bill Belichick is on the sideline. Maybe I can get him to join the show since he don't got nothing else to do right now.
Yeah, you had a great rapport with him, unlike very few others. So if you could do that, that would be cool.
Man, yeah, that'd be awesome. Man, thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Give yourself a round of applause tonight. We got a lot to talk about, man. We're going to get into this NBA playoff race. You know, some teams are in the playoff hunt. Some teams are in the play-in tournament. We're going to talk about that disparity there. I mean, if you don't know by now, I'm going to reveal to you guys later on what team in the NBA has the most play-in tournament wins in NBA history. We're going to have that conversation later. And I think they're going to break their record because what team, maybe you guys know, put it in the chat if you know, what team in NBA history has the most play-in tournament wins. Play-in tournament wins, fans. Let us know if you know, because I'm going to reveal that a little later to somebody's dismay. Fans, but we're going to talk about the NBA playoff races heating up. The NFL draft is coming up in a couple weeks. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to get Cleavon, we start a new segment of the show. Concerned? Are you confident or concerned? Are you concerned or confident? And then I want to know what players Cleavon is confident in having some success at the next level. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into the NCAA Cleveland and championship games that were over the weekend. We got to talk about that. I mean, were you one of the 14 million people that tuned in to watch the women's game?
I sure was, Cam. I had cheese on it, so I had to pay very close attention.
Okay, well, I want to know how that went, and then I also going to ask you, fans. If you guys were one of the 14 million people that tuned in to the most watched game on ESPN, will you now be watching some WNBA games? I want to know. We're going to ask that question a little later on in the show. Also, we're going to talk about, haven't heard any much hype about it, but the interpreter pled guilty, so Shohei is off the hook. Shohei's off the hook. Everything, the slate is wiped clean. Don't want to hear any drama, nothing about it. The interpreter played guilty, just like he said in the beginning. He had never bet on sports. He never bet on baseball. Never did any of that stuff. He's clean. All right. So you can stop shaking your head because the man is clean. Okay, these are honest people that came over and migrated to the United States. Honest people. We can take him at their word. And he said the man said he's clean. I trust he's clean. So we're going to absolve Shohei Ohtani of any betting scandal or any betting prowess or anything that has to do with betting. Shohei Ohtani is absolved. Okay? We're going to have that little conversation later. Fans, but each and every week we start our show with our numbers game, Cleveland. With it being April 10, 2024, week 287 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. When you think of the number 10, Cleveland, who comes to your mind first, or who wore that jersey number the best?
Well, Cam, who comes to mind first is terrible Tim Hardaway with a killer crossover, the UTEP two-step. And the reason that I say that is because I have a jersey that I have personally constructed in transit, and it's late, man. It's been about a week or so. So I had to go back through all my other jerseys, and the Tim Hardaway is one of my favorites. Who wore it the best? Pele.
Pele, not Diego Maradona, not Messi,
No.
But I guess they all fall on Pele's.
Yeah, they all wear
Pele's
10 because of him. Yeah.
Good point there. Good point. Cleveland, when you think of the number 87, who comes to your mind first? Or who wore that jersey number the best?
Who comes to mind first is Travis Kelce, who wore it the best. I go back and forth. It was a tug of war all day. Is it Gronk or is it Trav?
Ooh. Well, I guess
that's a tough one, right?
That is a tough one. I guess when Travis completes the three-peat this season, I mean, he's gonna have to go down in history, right?
Well, I mean, he has as many as Gronk, right?
I mean, once he completes it right as we speak,
if he wins 3 in a row, then yeah, then there's
who's won 3 in a row. I mean, there you go. So good call on that. Cleveland, let's start the show like this. Talking about NBA fans. Cleveland, do you believe in Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks yet?
No.
Oh, what does the team have to do to get your belief? Here we are, Cleveland, a week before the season. The team is 12-6 since March. The kid is have to be averaging 40 points since the All-Star game. What does he have to do to get your belief in here on him and the Knicks?
Fans, I have a spoiler alert, and Cam knows about this. There is going to be a manifesto that comes out next week with regards to how you win an NBA championship, and Jalen Brunson does not meet the criteria. Great into the season. He's doing big things against inferior teams. But yeah,
inferior teams. He played the National Basketball Association. He didn't play the college kids. He didn't play the college kids that they played in Villanova. He's in the National Basketball Association. So when you say inferior talent, like the fans need to understanding of what you're talking about.
Sure, fans. When my NBA basketball championship manifesto comes out,
stop with all this manifesto business. The fans want to know right now, after Jalen Brunson is doing what they're doing, has a New York Knicks in third place in the Eastern Conference. The fans want to know what it is you don't believe in the New York Knicks about. Have them in third place. They are literally a game out of second place in the Eastern Conference. And you say you don't believe in these guys? Like, the fans want to know. It's been all season long. You can't say it's been a good month. It's been a good week. You know, it's been it's not crunch time and these games don't matter. The fans want to know what matters, Cleveland.
And fans, I am also going to get some garments printed up that says the bearer of bad news. Yeah, it's going to be dope. But yeah, Jalen Brunson does not meet the criteria for winning a championship. So sorry.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Since fans, I don't know what to say. I told this dude that when the Dallas Mavericks elected not to sign, you know, they needed to throw the big house. We're gonna get into the Magic shortly. But they elected not to throw the house at Jalen Brunson, and he went up to New York. And I told anybody who would listen that the Dallas Mavericks will be missing Jalen Brunson. And they did for half a season. They missed him for half a season. Now until till our man Mark Cuban decided to sell half the squad, and then the players responded to that, and then they made some moves right there at the trade deadline. Like, they've really kind of turned things around. But we see, I said then, how the Mavericks would miss him and he would impact the Knicks, and we've seen in 2 seasons he's really impacted the Knicks. And Cleveland doesn't want to believe in him, but he has the Knicks a game out of second place in the Eastern Conference. So, I mean, we're gonna continue this conversation because obviously this team is solidly in the playoff race, and there's another team that we're gonna have to stop talking about that. You know, they probably won't be playing after next week, and so we're gonna have to quell any conversation about that team, that other team in Southern California. That again, fans. There's only one team that has the most play-in tournament wins, but they're probably not going to make it past the tournament, the play-in tournament this season. But I want to know now. And speaking of that one team, Cleveland, and this guy, this is funny. This is the funny thing, and I want to hear how he spins this. Cleveland's turned into the Trump-like spinmeister, and I want to hear how he spins this one. Cleveland. The guy to the right of your screen has been harping for at least a decade, fans, of how coaching doesn't really matter in the NBA because you have to have that player. And I think that's part of this manifesto that if he brings it up again, my ears are going to bleed. But I think that's a part of his manifesto because he's harped on for nearly a decade, year after year after year after year, that if you have to have that dude, you can have playoff success in the NBA. But then he says coaching doesn't matter. But then for the Bucks going 16 and 17 since Doc Rivers has become the head coach, he want to blame everything on Doc Rivers. I got one question for you, Mr. Cleveland. One question for you. Do you blame Darvin Ham on the Los Angeles Lakers hovering around the 10th seed in the Western Conference?
Well, he certainly is not blameless, Cam. I mean, a lot of it falls on the players.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of it falls on the players because I watch the Lakers a lot.
Oh, you say that they got 2 of the top 10 players in the NBA, according to you.
It's true.
Well, so
I watch the Lakers. I watch the Lakers.
Either that's a failed status category. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do I have to do my Reggie Miller impersonation here? Are you going to ask me the question and answer the question for me?
Go ahead. I'm saying nothing. I don't have my sip of water right
now. Okay, yeah, do that, man. Look, the Lakers are constructed with flaws, man. They kick the ball out to certain players, and they just don't execute the way that they're supposed to. If they were better players, they would execute. So, we have the point guard. He's cool. We do what we can. We have the grandson of Jarrell. Do what we can. He's cool. We have Mr. Glass. Hopefully his eye is okay before the playoffs start. We have Vincent's and, Vanderbilt's and, Hachimura's. Hopefully they, step up. But, if the King gets to the championship this year, this will be the greatest performance of his NBA career, without question.
If he gets to the championship, Cleveland, he might not get out of the playing tournament. What are you talking about?
That's true too. I mean,
so why are you?
As it looks right now, he's going to play a team that hit them for 26 3-pointers last night. That was not cool. Now, of course, that was without Anthony Davis. But
Anthony Davis would have been out there.
What his eyes going to look like tomorrow, and so we can't really count on that. But yeah, I mean, if the 10 seed is doing that, yeah, it's going to be hard to beat them. So they're really good at that.
So you, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I heard there. Again, I heard a lot of deflecting. You don't want to.
There's no deflection.
Ham is not to blame.
What deflection did you hear?
Do you want to blame Jeannie? Do you want to blame Rob Pelinka? Do you want to blame?
It's Rob number 1 and Darvin number 2, without question. Yeah.
Where's Rambis's wife in there? Does she get any blame? Jeannie and Rambis's wife, they're off limits.
Yeah, they're off limits right now.
Fans again. That Laker team has the most play-in wins in NBA history. Play-in tournament wins in NBA history. They're looking to extend that record here. But I think they're going to be in trouble. They may not get it. Right now, they got to win 2 games in the play-in tournament.
Oh, and ironically, fans, they also have the most NBA championships in the history of
No. Do they count the bubble? Did that bubble championship count?
Yeah, that counts.
The Mickey Mouse ring? That counts? Didn't that Mickey Mouse ring just tie the Celtics? Who are actually going for 18?
So they have the most championships in the history of the National Basketball Association, is what you're saying.
I'm not sure that Mickey Mouse ring counts. I'm not sure that Mickey Mouse that 3 months on the campus of Mickey Mouse Land. I'm not sure that.
And I believe with regards to the Los Angeles championships, it's 17-0. If you can correct me, Cam. Did I get that wrong?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Is it 17? Because there's 2 NBA teams in LA, One of them has 17 championships, and I think the other one has no championships. But you can correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Fans, let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay, let's moving right along. Okay,
moving right along. Let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks. And they won tonight, so now they're 10-1 in their last 11 games. 15-5 since March 1. They overtook the Pelicans, sadly, to my dismay. They overtook the Pelicans for 5th seed in the Western Conference right now. I mean, they made Gafford and likely was a rookie pickup. Gafford has been tremendous addition. PJ Washington, another good, tremendous pickup. Jamal Crawford said something last night that I mean, it got you thinking. It really stirred up the NBA, Cleveland. Did you hear what he had to say?
No, enlighten me, Cam. What did Crossover have to say?
Luka and Kyrie are the best backcourt ever in the NBA.
Yeah, well, that's not true.
Who's better than them as a duo?
I mean, I don't want to think too tough about it, but Steph and Clay are better, and
Steph and Clay were better than. No, okay, all right. So now you're going to go back.
Isaiah and Joe D were better. So I mean,
so you're gonna go back and say that what those guys accomplished was better than what these guys accomplished. That's what you're gonna say. But if you lined them up, Kyrie and Luka versus Joe D and Isaiah.
Yeah, I'm taking them all day.
Ooh, I mean, Joe Dumars.
I don't even know if they're better than Drexler and TP.
Is Clyde Drexler better than Luka Doncic?
I mean, right now, yeah. Luka Doncic has done this for like what, 5 years, 6 years?
So you're looking at Clyde Drexler's career. You're looking at what Clyde Drexler did in his career versus what Doncic did in his 6 years.
Yeah,
Clyde Drexler better than Luka Doncic.
I'm not willing to crown his ass after 5 years. Show me more.
Oh my, that reeks of hate. That reeks of hate right there. You're actually going to say with your mouth on, this is being recorded, right? This is broadcasted live. This is broadcasted live on YouTube on multiple stations. You have Clyde Drexler.
I can go back to the Pearl Monroe and Clyde Frazier. Is that a better backcourt than that backcourt?
Are either one of those guys better than Kyrie Irving? Either one of them.
I believe in Game 7, Clyde Frazier went for 38 and 17 and 19. Something ridiculous like that.
Here you go. Answer the question. Are either one of those guys better than Kyrie Irving? And we'll just say this season alone.
Allen Iverson, Larry Hughes backcourt?
Oh, come on. All right, I gotta find this one, fan.
Look like a buffoon.
Yeah, that's for you. You brought up Allen Iverson and Larry Hughes. Larry Hughes isn't better than one of those guys. So Kyrie Irving and Allen Iverson is a wash. So you go Larry Hughes or Luka Doncic. Which one do you go?
Man, I'm just throwing out backcourts.
Which one do you go? Larry, answer the question. Kyrie Irving and Allen Iverson is a wash. Which one do you go? Larry Hughes or Luka Doncic? Which one do you go? Exactly.
Larry didn't have a chance to really get into his.
Larry, he played longer than 5 years, or did he even play 5 years? Actually, did he even play? I think he played 5 years because he got traded.
Okay, well, I'll concede that right now it's leaning back Luka. Okay.
Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter. Which one of those guys are better than Kyrie Irving? Not
Clay.
one of those guys. Who's better than Kyrie Irving?
Clay Drexler.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. And better at what? Not scoring. Not dribbling. Not
Clay
letting
Drexler averaged 29 points a game. How many times has Kyrie Irving done that?
He had 29 points a game in the 1991 season. He didn't do it in 1995. So, come on, Cleveland. So you just don't want to give these guys credit. That's what you just don't want to give Luka. You said it's not enough time on the court with Luka. That's your excuse
for greatest backcourt of all time. No.
Name one. I'm trying to get you to name one. You said Steph and Clay. The only reason you would say Steph and Clay is because of what they've done. But it's Steph and Kyrie. Klay Thompson better than Luka Doncic?
I mean, if we're cutting it right now, then yeah, Clay has a more extensive body of work than Luka Doncic.
Cleveland. If you line these guys up, Cleveland, yeah, I can't. Where you want to go? 3 years ago? Do you want to line them up and say who would you take? You would take Luka over Clay most times, except Game 6 against the OKC Thunder. You would take.
I mean, does Luka have any championships at this point?
See, I knew that's what you're going. I knew that's what you're going. You're unable to separate the talent.
One of the top 10 greatest
fans get on this guy.
Basketball Association.
The fans get on this guy.
Mark Price, Ron Harper. That backcourt.
Just cut it out. Cut it out. Who's Mark Price better than? Luka or you? Don't give me anybody. The only reason you can say Clay and Steph is because they have championships. That's the only reason. But you can't look at it objectively and say you would take Klay Thompson over Luka Doncic. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. You cannot rightfully, truthfully say.
I certainly would right now. He has more championship rings. And
you're taking the career. You're taking the career over Luka. You're not taking. You're not taking Luka the triple.
So what are we talking about?
Threat.
You're trying to throw Luka into the conversation right now with a limited sample size.
Luka is a bigger, much more offensive.
Okay, when we talk again? Okay, is that cool?
Oh my goodness, you're so blinded by what they've accomplished that you can't even have a legitimate conversation. And that's the only reason you could say Steph and Clay. That's the only reason you could say. But
so
okay, they're accomplished.
Matter all of a sudden.
No, they're accomplished. Okay, go. You Cleveland. You in Clay's whole career, you would not take Klay Thompson over Luka Doncic in any of Luka's years in the NBA. Not one of Luka's years in the NBA.
I certainly would as a 4-time NBA champion right now.
Again, you would not do that, Cleveland. If you align the ball on the wall, and when did Luka come in the league? When did Luka come in the league? Let me look this up.
I believe
6 years ago?
I believe it's his 4th season.
So let me look this up. There's not one season that you would take Klay Thompson over Luka Doncic. There's not one. There's not one. Not even when they won their last championship. You would not take Klay Thompson over Luka.
I will take Klay Thompson's
you would not, Cleveland.
4th year through his 11th year over Luka Doncic.
You're lying to yourself. You would not do that. You are telling the absolute fib, and you know that.
Certainly would do that.
So Luka came in 2018, so it's 24 now. So he's in his 6th year. Cleveland, we could go back to his 17, 18 is his prime. You would trade if you had the opportunity. You would trade Klay Thompson for Luka Doncic in 2018. You would definitely make that move coming off the championship. You would make that move. Any GM in the NBA would have made that move. And you can't tell me you're not. Even with his 3 championships.
Certainly would not have. Klay has proven to be an NBA champion and knows what it takes to do that. Luka Doncic has not shown that to this point.
Look at a buffoon.
A lot of really flashy stats during the regular season. My goodness, I think he averages like 31 points a game, something ridiculous like that.
Again, you would not
It's not been to an NBA Finals.
In 2018, the Golden State Warriors would certainly make a trade for Luka Doncic if it was on the table.
No, it's six. It's 6 NBA Finals that Klay Thompson's been to. So sorry.
Again, we'll give Klay his. We're ignore the last 4 or 5 years of Klay's career. In 2008,
like 2 years ago, they won the NBA championship.
I know, so we're gonna ignore that one. I'll give you the hottest Klay Thompson was coming off their 2000 championship, including Game 6 Klay. In 2018, if it was on the table, the Golden State Warriors would take Luka Doncic and send Klay Thompson to Dallas.
Not true.
Oh, you're lying.
Not true.
You're lying. You would too. You would do that too.
Not true.
You would do that. You're absolutely Cleveland. Come on.
Luka Doncic is not proven to be an NBA champion yet.
Oh my goodness, you're killing me.
Klay's done it 4 times. Played for the chip 6 times.
Do you believe in OKC Thunder yet?
No.
Look at a buffoon.
These are your words. Those are your words.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your words. They have the league's MVP on their team. They're competing they're a game out of first place in the Western Conference. And you're going to call them the Sacramento Kings of last year? The 2023 Sacramento Kings?
I mean they're better than the Sacramento Kings were last year. They have more talent than that. I'm not going to put them in that category. But no, they're not going to get to the NBA Finals. That's not a thing.
So who you have in finals? You got the Los Angeles Lakers playing who?
I got Denver and Boston.
So the Clippers last night. Not sure you saw the score.
No, it was beautiful. It was magnificent basketball.
35-4.
I think they were up like 56-6 or something ridiculous, and just kept beating the snot piss out of the Phoenix Suns that weren't.
That was without Kawhi and Harden. That was without Kawhi and Harden.
Sure was.
So
that was a beautiful hurting they put on the Phoenix Suns.
The score was atrocious. I mean, it was. Was that a worse look for Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, or Devin Booker? Kevin Durant had 22. He was 22-2-2.
That was the worst look for Devin Booker,
who went 13-3-5 last night.
Mm-hmm.
These Suns are just nasty. Like, they're nasty. Like, there's I have not had any faith in the Phoenix Suns all season long, and it's for stuff like this that happens. Well, I mean, Bradley is due $60 million next year. What do you do with these guys? Do you bring them back?
You have no choice but to bring them back. Yeah, you assemble the team in a certain way that you know there is no other alternative, and plus you traded the pick and DeAndre Ayton. That was the number 1 pick in the draft like 4 years ago.
Who had 30 and 13 last night. He had 30 and 13 last night, by the way.
Okay, so yeah, you roll it back.
I feel I want to say,
but you're already projecting into next year. No. Playoffs start in a couple of days.
Phoenix won't be there.
They won't be in the playoffs?
No. Phoenix. No, they're not going to be in the playoffs.
Okay. Well, if they are in the playoffs, who would they be?
They're in the play-in tournament. They're number 9. They might get beat by Sacramento. They're going to end up. They're number 9. They're going to have to play Sacramento. They're number 7. They're going to have to. Sacramento's number 8. They're going to have to play for the AC.
Okay, so you don't think they can beat Sacramento in a 1-game playoff? Is that
I have zero faith in those guys.
Okay,
zero faith.
We can get chummy all about that for sure.
You got Phoenix Suns over Sacramento Kings?
Yeah. We can get real chummy about that.
I mean, they're right as of today. There's only a few games left. They're a game apart.
Okay, well, that's cool. If that's the matchup, we can get real chummy about that.
Yeah, I like that one.
I love that. And then who's the number 2 seed right now?
Right now it's Denver, but
and who's the one?
Memphis is Minnesota. Excuse me, Minnesota's the one. Minnesota,
Okay.
Denver playing right now.
So it would be Minnesota. So just saying. So supposing Minnesota falls to 2, then it would be Phoenix against Minnesota.
You're going to take Phoenix over Minnesota?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think you're losing credibility with the fans, Cleveland.
Nope.
Look at the
You're about to read my playoff manifesto.
You're losing. And who are you leaning on for Phoenix? Kevin Durant, who hasn't played in the final NBA, who hasn't played a legitimate
And who are you
game?
leading on for the Minnesota Timberwolves? Anthony Edwards in his 3rd season?
The league's MVP candidate. Yes. The NBA MVP candidate, Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
We're gonna get you your
And he can do that for 7 games, is what you're saying.
Against the Phoenix Suns?
Against really good competition.
Against Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen? Come on.
I'm sorry, you were leaving out just one additional player when you ran down that list.
Kevin Durant? You think Kevin Durant is going to lock up
6'11" guy?
He's going to lock up Anthony Edwards?
Oh no, we're not talking about locking up anybody. We're talking about can you beat those guys?
Clearly, you didn't. Clearly, you just their ass whooping they took to the Clippers last night just went over your head. Cleveland, they were down 35-4, and you have faith in these bums?
Damn, it was Devin Booker's girlfriend's birthday party the night before.
Oh,
they're a little bit tired.
Oh, is that what it was? Well, they're playing tonight. We're gonna see if there's a difference tonight. But then tonight, Paul George is sitting down, Kawhi Leonard's resting, James Harden not playing.
Well, Kawhi Leonard's always resting, so that's nothing new.
But that's unfair to Kawhi. Kawhi plays 60
No, Kawhi's always
played
resting.
70 games
That's
this
nothing
year.
new.
He's played 70 games this year. That's unfair.
Last night too, right?
Yeah, he's chilling right now.
Kawhi's always resting, so that's nothing new. So don't throw that into the equation.
Cleveland, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I don't know what's your love for the Phoenix Suns. This manifesto.
It's not a love for the Phoenix Suns. It's your hate for the Phoenix Suns. That's kind of.
I don't have any hate for the Phoenix Suns. I like Kevin Durant. I just said moments ago. If you heard me say, I kind of feel bad for Kevin Durant. Devin Booker is not that guy.
He made his own bed and he's lying in it right now.
Yeah, well, that's the one really kind of thing you can't really feel bad for. Yes, and he's a millionaire, et cetera, et cetera. But I have zero faith in Devin Booker. What has Devin Booker showed you that what has he proven to you?
He was a major component on a team that got to the NBA Finals 2021. It's one of Kobe's prodigies. Kobe thought a lot of that guy.
Fans, you guys hear what I'm dealing with? You guys hear what it?
What? Neither one of those things are true. Or did I say something did I misspeak? I mean, what are you talking about?
I mean, you bring up Kobe being Bryant as if Kobe's not rolling over his grave with the performance of Devin Booker in the last few seasons. Come on, Devin Booker. What have Devin Booker done? What has he done? Since Chris Paul left, what has he done? Chris Paul turned over the keys and they went belly up. Since Chris Paul left, they're garbage. Phoenix Suns have been garbage. Devin Booker has proven he's not that dude. He can't take over games. He's proven that. You got him and Bradley Beal, who, I mean, was way overpaid. My goodness. You and I, Cleveland, we had this conversation at the beginning of the season. Do you have confidence in Bradley Beal? Well, we knew Bradley Beal was going to play 60% of the games at most. Turns out he played about half of them, and he just hasn't cashed in. And Kevin Durant is running around there again. He leave Brooklyn he's expecting Kyrie and Harden to show up in Brooklyn. Neither one of them did. Harden begged for the trade. Then he comes to Phoenix expecting that he's going to have some help with Booker and Beal. These guys are bums, man. These guys are little dandelions.
Well, Cam bums is a little bit of a harsh critique of their ability. And again, that's all well and good, but that's why I love this time of the season more than any other, because we'll just roll the ball out and find out.
Oh boy! Oh, I don't
Can't
know.
wait.
I don't know where this faith is coming from. I'm surprised to hear.
I'm not even saying I have a whole lot of faith in them, but
that's what it sounds like.
They are capable of doing that. So until they don't do that, I give them
give them the benefit of the doubt. They haven't done anything worse. Kevin Durant is the only guy who's done, and Grayson Allen is played spectacularly this season. They're the only two I would have any faith in going into the season. The rest of the Booker and Beal, who you really need to step up, have not. They're bumps. Trash. The Sixers 5-0 in April. What is it? I think 3-0 with Embiid coming back. Can Embiid keep this consistency up?
Not sure. According to you, absolutely not.
Well, I didn't expect him to come back and be as effective as he has. I didn't expect him to come back, jump on a treadmill after the guys have been running for the last 2 months and just step right into the play action. Yes, I didn't. The 76ers are in the 7th seed right now. But they're 2 games out of the 4th seed with Cleveland. Like 4 games out of the 2nd seed with your Boston Milwaukee Bucks. So there's still things to be decided in the last few games in the Eastern Conference. Because right now they're at 7th seed. They play Milwaukee, who just got mollywopped tonight. Or excuse me, they would play Miami, who just got mollywopped by Dallas tonight. So I would expect that to be a win.
Wow.
And then, Chicago, Atlanta, the 9 and 10 teams. Who cares? Who cares? Though they're going to play Boston. Boston they should cakewalk to the NBA Finals. Boston really should, especially if you have no faith in New York Knicks doing anything. Boston should really cakewalk to the. We should see a 15-1 playoff series, or not 15-1, but what is it? What would that be? 11-1.
No. Make no mistake about it. The Celtics don't have killer instinct. They just have more talent, and eventually they'll get to the NBA Finals.
Well, I'm saying they should have.
There'll be no like walloping over their opponents by any means.
Shame on them.
A couple 4-3s.
They're going to go the 3-4-3 series.
Yep.
Is that what you're
expecting? Possible.
Very possible.
Less than 42. All of those series.
That would be a shame if they lose. If they lose 2 games again, they'll do it again. They did it last season. They did it last 2 seasons actually. If they lose 2 games to the 10th seed or the 9th seed, Atlanta Hawks or Chicago Bulls, whoever makes it out of that.
No. It will be the 8th seed. It will be the 1 versus the 8. So
but I'm saying,
already projecting things that aren't happening. All that I am saying is that they are capable of losing 2 games a series until they get.
What I'm saying to you is that Chicago and Atlanta is the 9 and 10 seed playing for the 8th spot, right?
Right.
If they lose 2 games to either one of those teams,
but neither one of those teams is guaranteed to make the playoffs, so that sounds kind of weird. Who are the 7 and 8 teams?
Philly and Miami.
Okay. I have more confidence in either Philly or Miami being the 8th seed than Chicago or Atlanta. So yeah.
But Philly and Miami they're 7 and 8. They're gonna play for that 7th seed, correct? And then Chicago and Miami or Chicago and Atlanta is gonna play for that 8th seed.
No, Chicago and Atlanta play for the opportunity to play the loser of the 7-8 game. So, for example, if Philadelphia beats Miami,
they're the 7th seed. Yeah, they're the 7th seed.
The winner of the Atlanta
Chicago
game,
they'll play Miami.
And the winner of that game,
I'd expect both of them. I'd expect both of them. Chicago. Well, I think I would expect that Chicago or Atlanta to beat Miami. Miami.
Oh wow! All of a sudden you turn your back on Jimmy. Oh, I see.
Well,
I see you.
Miami's not that good.
I see you. I like it.
And
I like it.
I mean, they're only Miami's not. I don't know.
Cam. You getting that playoff grid on you a little bit. Just a little bit. I see it. Mm-hmm.
Cleveland. So, do the Wolves need Cat? Do the Wolves need Karl Anthony Towns? I mean, they're getting ready to win the Western Conference this year.
They absolutely do need him as a trade piece to get the other piece to get Anthony Edwards some help.
No. Oh, a trade piece to get him. No, I'm saying he's on the verge of coming back before the season ends. Do they need him to come back?
Okay. It will not make any difference with regards to if they get out of the first round or not. They're not getting out of the first round.
Why would you say such a thing? Them winning the Western Conference means
you want to get chummy about it?
What?
I'd kind of like to wait until the playoff seeds are solidified. But
okay.
I feel like getting chummy about it. You think that Timberwolves is going to win their first round matchup?
Why would you completely just discredit you don't know whether to be the 1, 2, or 3, but you're saying either way they're not getting out of the first round. What don't you like? I thought your Aunt Edwards was your guy. You're just turning on him like that.
Love that dude.
They have the defensive player of the year. They got Naz Reid, who can arguably be a 6th man of the year coming off the bench.
You see, Cam, you're already doing that playoff naivete. You told me something about some dude named Naz Reid. You're already like on a slippery slope.
Cleveland, Minnesota is playing for the number 1 seed. Do you want to hear Mike Conley? Would that make you feel better if I said Mike Conley, the veteran?
Mike Conley's in his 19th year in the league. Nah, not really.
Well, there's another kid in the 19th year, another guy in the 19th year of the league, and you want to crown him something else.
Well, that's a different kind of basketball player, clearly.
I mean, no.
Are you trying to compare Mike Conley to the King? Is that where you were going with that?
They have the same impact in winning right now, today. They have the same impact in winning right now.
LeBron James and Mike Conley have the same level of impact on winning basketball games. Is that
Absolutely.
What you just said? Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Well,
we're help me out. We're talking about the number 1 seed of the Western Conference versus where's LeBron's team? Oh, let me look way down in the standings. Oh, they're the number 9 seed in the Western Conference. So yes, I would say Mike Conley has a little bit of impact on winning versus that other guy.
It just makes it that much more that I hope that is actually the matchup that actually ends up happening. Oh my gosh. We can revisit this conversation. Mike Conley versus LeBron James.
And be clear what I said. He's had as much impact.
No. Wait, 2 steps down? 2 steps, was that 3 steps down?
He has
just to clarify.
He has as much impact in winning right now. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how you're going to argue this. One team is comfortable.
Can't wait.
One team is in a.
Can we get chummy about it if that happens?
Oh my goodness gracious! Cleveland, I don't know where you're at right now. One team is leading.
I just want the Northwest
leading the Western Conference. One guy is on the team leading the Western Conference, and the other guy is number 9 in the Western Conference.
Okay, well,
again, about to set a record for the most playing.
The musical chairs have not stopped just yet. They haven't set. So
okay, all right. I don't know, Cleveland. Giannis is out after his calf strain yesterday. He's going to be sitting down for the rest of the season until playoff time starts. How does this impact the Bucks, or does it impact the Bucks? Does Dame use these 3 games now to go off knowing he's the primary scorer?
No, it impacts them dramatically because I think they're downplaying the severity of the injury. I mean, that was weird. It was a non-contact injury, and he fell to the ground like, Boots, what's going down?
Boots, do you hear this? Do you hear this guy over here?
He fell to the ground like, I've done that. I've ruptured both of my Achilles tendons, and it didn't pop, but wait. Is it sensitive? Is it sore? Is it about to pop? He's gonna be apprehensive, to say the least.
Let's look at the NBA season awards this year, Cleveland.
Okay.
Let's look at the NBA season awards. Who's the MVP?
The Joker.
Why? Because he's back to back. He's going for a back to back championship.
He did win it. Joel Embiid won the MVP.
Well, I mean, I'm saying he's going for his second championship. That would be back to back championship, is what I'm saying.
Oh, back to back championships. No, yeah, that's not why. Because he's most dominant player in the league.
More than your guy, Ant Edwards.
Yeah.
I mean, I got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, they're 3 teams. I mean, I guess this is kind of what flavor Kool-Aid do you like? Because OKC, Denver, and Minnesota, as of tonight, well, OKC's a half game back of those 2, Denver and Minnesota. Nonetheless, at 55-25, nobody expected the Thunder to be right here. The Thunder are balling. I got SGA in this situation. Wemby, there's no conversation. Defensive player of the year. Well, we'll say that one. Comeback player of the year. Can Kyrie win comeback player of the year?
No.
Why not? I think Kyrie's deserving.
All-star.
I think Kyrie's deserving. He's been. I mean, I hate to say it, but his nose has been clean. He hasn't been in any controversy all season long. He's played the second fiddle to Luka Doncic.
Nope.
And they're hovering on the 5 seed. They're the hottest team in the league right now. Who would you give comeback player of the year to?
Man, I give it to Kristaps Porzingis or give it to Kyrie.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that move.
I'd give it to Jonathan Kuminga before him.
Kuminga.
I think he's like 12 or 13 points more a game
than Kyrie, or just
from the previous season. Coming back, comeback player of the year.
I mean, I don't know that he was there though to come back from. We're finally seeing him shine. Like Kyrie was former champion.
Comeback player is an improvement from the previous season. So yeah, I believe Kuminga has improved more from last season to this season than Kyrie Irving has, for sure.
No. That's My vote is kind of weird. I get it, but I still give it to Kyrie. He for his part in having the Magic or the Dallas Mavericks where they are playing like they're playing. I got Kyrie. Oh, go dunk on him again, Ant. Dunk on him again. So these guys, people that just don't believe in you. They applaud your energy. They applaud your hype. But when you put it on the court against the defending champions, like nobody wants to give you credit. Go dunk on them again. Coach of the year.
Coach of the year is
really only two guys who can win this, and that's Chris Finch from Minnesota, the Timberwolves head coach, or Mike Daigneault, the OKC Thunder head coach. There's really only two guys.
Is Mr. Malone?
You can give it to Mr. Malone. Oh, let's see here. See, Cleveland, you're just stuck on what's happened in the past. You can't. You have a problem. I see. Looking to the future. That's your problem.
Oh, so I'm not projecting into the future when I pick the coach of the Denver Nuggets.
No,
who do you have winning the NBA championship? Just out of curiosity, who do you think's going to ultimately end up cutting down the nets?
I need to see how the Clippers finish.
You need to see some more. You need to see some more things before you decide.
Yeah, I need to see how the.
Okay, well, check this out, Playboy. Yeah, I got some chum on it that the Denver Nuggets are going to cut down the nets. How you feel about that? Want to do that?
You ready? Are you ready to say that?
Yeah.
You're going to give me the field? I'll take the field over the Denver Nuggets.
No, you said the Los Angeles Clippers. You didn't feel comfortable about that?
No, I said I need to see more from the Clippers.
I'm so sorry. I thought you said the Los Angeles Clippers were, because that's the first team you threw out.
Yeah, I said I need to. You didn't hear. You only heard the last part. I said I need to see.
Well, I got the Denver Nuggets. Who you got?
Mm-hmm. Do I have the field, or are you giving me the field?
No. Pick a team.
Oh,
now you don't want to do it.
We got next week. We can talk about the playoff. Okay. We can talk about that.
Yeah. Now you don't want to do it. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Yeah, Boots. You're right, Boots. There's no argument here.
Didn't want to get too chummy about that, did you?
6th man of the year. Who you got? Norman Powell, Malik Monk, Bojan, or Bogdanovich.
I got Bones Highland winning 6th man of the year.
Bones Highland don't get no running to no time. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. I was thinking of somebody else. What were the other names you came up with?
Nas Reed can be one of them, who you don't want to give any credit to. Nas Reed for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Norman Powell for the Los Angeles Clippers, Malik Bones for Malik Monk, for the Sacramento Kings, Bojan Bogdanovich. You said that a couple weeks ago. You sticking?
I'm gonna go with Bogdanovich for the 6th man right there.
Oh, you just being you just being different. He don't want to give Norman Powell no love. Malik Monk played for the Lakers before and left them, so he don't want to give him any love. Nas Reed, he already shit on Nas earlier in the show, so he goes Bogdanovich. Right. He can't even say that with a straight face, man. You guys see this guy? You notice this guy? Boots. I don't know if you chimed in. Who's your MVP, Boots? MVP of the season. Cleveland just went chalk and Nikola Jokic, but I say SGA is deserving of MVP consideration this season, just for what he's done with the
consideration for sure. He's played his heart out.
Defensive Player of the Year.
I got Vic.
Can we go by Jokic's MVP?
No, I'm not projecting your stats over minutes, over time that they don't actually play. I'm just saying, Vic.
Boots as Joker for MVP.
Oh, so we agree.
Comeback player of the year. Like it's been Rudy Gobert. Again, Rudy Gobert has his team hovering, competing for first place in the tough Western Conference. I mean, that's hard to argue. Rudy Gobert has I want to say meant more.
And so you probably didn't do this exercise, but are his numbers significantly better than they were last year?
Why is that relevant? This is not
because he's supposed to be the comeback player of the year.
No,
so his numbers are relatively similar.
I said defensive player of the year.
Oh, defensive player of the year. Oh, no. It's still Vic. Still Vic.
So I mean, 2 weeks ago this wasn't it. 3 weeks ago this wasn't a debate. 3 weeks
until all those blocks and steals came up about.
Till one particular thing caught my eye. One particular thing caught my eye about Victor Wembanyama. And so I'm blaming him for the team having less than 20 wins this season. I agree with you. Rudy. I agree with you, Boots. Rudy is definitely deserving.
Nah, he's not. But go on with your soliloquy. That was cool. Yeah, you had some really cool point to make. About the stats. Hit me.
Victor, when Victor is not on the floor, the team has they're rated 29 in defense, or 27 or 28 in defensive rating when he is not on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
When he's on the floor, they're number 3.
So that's a 25 team differential.
So that's
did you do the same exercise for Gobert?
No, but they're high anyway. I did not though.
Okay.
But
I'm pretty sure it's not 25 teams better.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard that anybody can have that type of impact. And that's what kind of swayed my opinion.
So you're Team Vic then?
I mean, I'm reluctantly Team Vic because that is a telling stat where I was trying to I was trying to discredit Victor Wembanyama for that defensive rating, but again, when he's not on the floor, he can't do everything.
The third worst defensive team in all of basketball, and when he is, they're the third best. Yeah, that's quite a range.
Yeah, I mean that's very telling, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see if I can pull this up real quick. I mean that's very telling, and that's what kind of swayed me. And that's what I'm kind of leaning on. Let me see. That's what I'm kind of leaning on, and I mean Rudy Gobert has just been solid and steady, versus what Victor Wembanyama has been. We got another week, so I guess I can pull up that split there, by next week. But that is what that's one stat I saw. That was like, okay. I mean,
Cam. No, that's great. That's good talk. That's good fodder. But by the end of next week, it won't make any difference. We'll be to the playoffs, and so yeah, the tenor changes from it.
Well, no, I think that's still that will still be up in the air. I have that number for you guys next week. That number that'll still be up in the air who's winning. But
do you remember what my sweatshirt's going to say next week?
What
the bearer of bad news? Yeah. So all of your statistical nonsense
is it going to say playing tournament champs? Is that what you're going to say? Playing tournament champs? Is that what you're wearing? Would you? Is that what you guys are going with? Playing tournament champs next year, huh? Yeah. So I'll follow up on that defensive player of the year stat next week. I got Anthony Edwards fans, or excuse me, I got SGA as winning the MVP. Victor is clearly the rookie of the year. Comeback player of the year. I mean, I really can't think of anybody other than Kyrie. I think Kyrie's clearly deserving. Coach of the year is Mark Daigneault from OKC. Sixth man of the year. I have to go with Norman Powell. Cleveland goes Bojan Bogdanovic. Can't tell me any big game he's had this season, but I'll go Norman Powell. He can't tell me one game, and I gave you why he just wanted to be a hater. So we'll follow that up again next week, fellas. It's gonna be playoff time next week, so that's exciting time in the NBA. Cleveland, let's jump into this NFL conversation. The Jacksonville Jaguars, sign your guy Josh Allen, 5 years, 155, 88 mil guaranteed. Is it a good move, bad move?
It's a good move, but he's overpaid. He's not that type of impactful, but
Maxey for most improved. That's pretty. That's a good call. That's a good call. Better than Kyrie though.
Most improved. You're talking about 2 All-Stars from last year. That's weird. Anyways, back to your conversation about Josh Allen.
Maxey to take over the league like this.
Okay, so they were both All-Stars last year. Okay, cool. So Josh Allen, a little bit overpaid.
Overpaid, he says.
Yeah, I think he was playing a little bit over his skis. I don't think he's quite as impactful as what the numbers indicated, but you can't let him go.
Yeah, I don't know about I disagree with overpaid or
so
over
17.5 sacks is kind of like the expectation every year.
No, well, you want him to continue to get better, but I mean, over his skis is pretty strong.
Okay. Well, if he continued to get better, that would be like 20 sacks. I said 17.5. Do you think he'll over under next year?
So yeah, he should get. I mean, the goal is that he does get better. So you want him to have more than that.
And so then you have the over then. Okay.
Yeah, you want him to increase as he should. Yes.
You don't want to get chummy about it, but you do want to. You do want to kind of throw it out there. I gotcha.
Thanks, Boots. Thanks for clearing that up. We kind of moved on, but thanks for clearing that up, Boots. Maxey is not a bad call. That's actually not a bad call. I'm not terribly disappointed in that. I mean, that's actually a good call. But Kyrie, I'm stuck on Kyrie, Boots, just because of he hasn't been a malcontent. He's been productive, and then what Dallas is doing, I guess they kind of turned it on late in the season. That's what I'm kind of stuck on. I overpaid is not. I wouldn't go overpaid Cleveland. For number one, the NFL they got $30 extra million. The NFL teams did to pay their players, so they got to pay somebody. And you got to pay your defender. I mean, he's guys been there trying to get it done, so you pay your guy. Cleveland, let's talk a little bit about the NFL draft. Give me 3 players that you're most confident in this draft going into next year. 3 players that you're most. I got 3, but you give me 3 of your players that you're most confident in going into the NBA draft. Who are you most confident?
NFL draft. Caleb, Marv, Rome.
That's cheating. And so you're all these. I mean, you've been talking all off season about Rome Odunze. Have you seen him run away from anybody in any of the games that you watch?
Well, Cam, he's 6'3", 211 pounds.
I didn't ask how big he was. I asked you.
I have seen him run away from some players. Yes.
I mean, all these highlights run. I never see him running away from anybody. I'm seeing him catching the ball in the end zone. I never seen him shake anybody, break a tackle, run for 30 yards down the field. I haven't seen it. I have not seen it. Okay, so my just from my studies, I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a player as long as he's protected. And that obviously it depends on what team he go to. Somebody that actually protects him. But I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a player. He suffered his terrible season in Arizona State, and then came and turned around, had a better season with LSU, and then had finished that up with follow that up with the Heisman Trophy season. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a player. Brock Bowers. Now, maybe I should have had this in my next category. Well, my next category is concerned. I'm eager to see what Brock Bowers does. To say I'm confident he's one of my most confident players, I'm eager to see what he does and how he performs in the NFL. I just want to see, was he playing against smaller guys who couldn't or didn't want to tackle, and does that translate? What do you think about Brock Bowers?
A tremendous tight end. He has to go to the right organization to get the most out of his talents, to accentuate what he can really actually do. If he gets to a team like, for example, when the Seahawks went and traded for Jimmy Graham and just wanted him to be an extra blocker, well, that's not, his highest and best use. If he goes to a team where they actually understand, yeah, man, run down the field 10 yards, turn around, and you're always open, that's a different kind of a thing. So I think
is he going to break tackles, run over players?
Not sure.
This is what I'm saying.
He's big enough to do so, and he's shown that in the SEC to a certain extent. But I mean,
so this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying in comparison. And again, you watch all of Rome Odunze's game. I did. I'm not going to act like I did, but I can just say from the highlights that I've seen. I mean, they show highlights upon highlights of Brock Bowers running over some guys, breaking tackles, and getting downfield. I have not seen any of those highlights from Rome. I see him catching the ball in the end zone where he's beat his defender off the line, or he'll catch it in some first down catches. But I haven't not seen him run anybody over. I haven't seen him run away from anybody, and that concerns me. You've seen that from Marvin Harrison. You've seen that from Malik Neighbors. You've seen them burning players down the field, albeit, again, it is college talent, right? But you've seen that from Malik Neighbors, downfield, wide open, running away from cats. I haven't seen that from him, so that's a concern I have. So leading to my next category, I told you Malik Neighbors was my third one. Well, I'm confident that he's going to be a baller. Top players that I'm most concerned about. My first guy would be Drake May. I want to say JJ McCarty. I want to see him, but I guess I've seen a little bit more of him, and it's understandable why he hasn't done a lot of special things, because he had good defense and a good running game, and he just was allowed to play conservatively, if you will. But Drake May, if he's a top 3 pick in the NFL, like, shouldn't have North Carolina been better? And they weren't playing in the SEC. They're playing in the ACC, which is like similar to what the Pac-12 was. A free scoring, like they weren't as free liberal with the points, but they were relatively speaking, they put up points. And if you're a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, or a top 3 quarterback in the draft, you should be putting up points, right? So I'm concerned about Drake May. And then obviously I'm concerned, as I mentioned, I'm concerned about Rome Odunze. And then that guy Worthy, the dude who ran the 4.2, like in the combine, you know who I'm talking about?
Xavier Worthy from Texas.
Yeah. So does that translate? And does Kansas City does he fall to the lap of Kansas City? And oh my goodness, that would be absolutely horrifying if he falls right to Kansas City, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, the most horrifying thing about Xavier is I keep hearing over and over again that he's only 165 pounds. That just doesn't work in the NFL. He'll be hurt all the time.
But I think, I mean, what was the dude for what was the dude from Washington State who ran whose record did he break?
He broke John Ross III's record from the
Yeah.
University of Washington.
And who played 3 games in the NFL?
He played more than that, but he was the number 9 pick in the draft and never had that type of impact because he's playing NFL football.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you think he's worthy? He's going to be the Ross?
He's smaller than him, so I don't know. I mean, it depends on where he ends up. Again, if he goes to a team that expects their wide receivers to block and do other things other than just run straight really fast, depends.
I mean, if you go to KC,
165 is a concern.
If he goes to KC,
he plays bigger, he's stronger, he's a tough guy. It's like
the 165.
Ask Bob Sanders about being undersized in the NFL.
Well, I mean, come on, he's not going to come in and try to tackle everybody.
But he's going to get tackled by people that are way bigger than him. 60 to 80 pounds all the time.
Again, he's going to be playing cornerbacks who's not way bigger than him. And I doubt he's going to
cornerbacks are 35 pounds heavier than him right now.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm interested. If he falls to KC, I mean, I think
that's going to be plays, run some schemes where he can, a lot of stuff across the field, and eventually he's going to get hit, though.
Yeah, but he's gonna get hit downfield with somebody chasing him. He's not going over the middle. I mean, that's not where.
So again, this is 165 going to Texas, where they're doing everything that they absolutely possibly can to make you bigger, stronger, and faster. And that's as far as they could get it at the University of Texas.
So, what players are you concerned about in this draft? I mentioned Drake May, mentioned Rome Odunze. Who are you concerned about?
For me, the number one concern is McDaniel. I don't understand what they're seeing.
McDaniel? Jaden?
Yeah.
You don't I just broke it down to you. He had the
No, I heard what you said. I've watched Jaden play a whole bunch of games. The number 2 pick in the draft? Not even close.
Explosiveness. He can throw.
Against who?
Against SEC talent. He did play against SEC, right?
I gave you that stat.
Yeah,
he put up those huge, incredible numbers against completely, totally inferior opponents.
We'll see. I kind of disagree. I think the kid has gotten better. We're gonna have Tyler on next week to talk about the NFL draft. And Tyler laughed when we talked about Jaden Daniels earlier. So I want to see if has his opinion changed. And well, I'm asking these same questions. But we'll have Tyler on next week from the NFL writer for USA Today and Gannett, and he writes on the NFL. So he'll have a comment on Jaden Daniels. He might disagree with you. But who else you got?
As a concern, JJ McCarthy. He's not. I don't understand what people are seeing in that guy, man. That's crazy that I've heard as high as like 3 or 4 in the draft. Like you will lose your job if you draft JJ McCarthy with the number 3 pick.
Well, you're gonna have to answer this question then, because it sounds like some people are moving up to get him. And trading to get him. I got a question for you right now, but you got JJ McCarthy. What about what should the Chargers at number 5, who don't need a quarterback, right? Should they change trade with the Minnesota Vikings? I think it makes good sense.
You're hearing that 11 and
23
23 for the 5. Absolutely,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Minnesota's desperate, so I'll take the 11-23 and maybe a third rounder if I can get it, or maybe a third rounder this year.
And the first next year, absolutely.
I don't
You're
know
going
about
to be
first.
drafting. That was the trade package that I saw. It was the
first next year, the 11-23 and the number
this
1
year and the number 1 next year. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. But you're giving me a number 1. That's done. That's a done deal. That's good as done then. And then the Chargers can still with the depth of receivers available, because the Chargers right now have no receivers. Well, they have Palmer. I like Palmer. I thought Palmer was good. I thought he was.
Yeah, he's great. He's cool.
I mean, he's cool. I thought he's a cool dude, and I thought he was getting better. But Quentin, I thought they missed on several receivers to draft him early in the teens, whatever they drafted last year. He could get better. He's a big dude. He can get better. Will he get better? We'll see. Who knows? But they need another receiver, but they also need some linemen. So if you can get with the lineman that they're targeting from Alabama at 11 still, and then come back and get another receiver at 23, I think that's a good move. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking towards for my most concerned players in NFL draft. And you got JJ McCarthy and who else? And Jaden Daniels. Who else you got? Anybody else
that I'm concerned about? It depends on where they go, but those two will lose your job.
What about the lineman from Washington? You like him? You like Doug?
I don't think he's going to be picked high enough for you to lose your job over it. It just depends on. He's in the mid-teens from what I've been seeing.
Yeah, 16. Troy Fontenot. You like him? Is that he's going to go instead of he's going to go from Montlake to downtown?
Oh no! Oh, that'll translate. I've heard several mock drafts that have the Seahawks taking him. So
yeah. Is that they need that better than so okay. No, I'm gonna do this for you. I should have sent this to you actually. I should have sent it. In fact, I'm gonna send it to you right now. Go ahead and filibuster because I gotta show you. Who else should the Seahawks take? Who else, if they didn't take a lineman, who else would you want to see them take?
You know, Cam, I've gone back and forth about this. And I am just going to wait and see like everybody else. I don't know enough about this coaching staff. I don't know enough about what they really like to do or what they're good at. I know that they have a rookie head coach who's like 36 years old. I know they have an offensive coordinator who lit it up in college, his first time in the NFL. The defensive coordinator, their first time in the NFL. So what they're looking for and what they need and what they think their priorities are, people are just speculating and it's completely foreign. I've heard they still want to come back and get Penix at 16. Is that too high? For me, that's way too high. But if you don't have a second round pick and you don't think you can get him, do you take him? And this is where all the speculation starts, right? There are so many.
Penix's coach was the offensive coordinator from Washington. Is the offensive
the
coordinator.
Offensive coordinator at the University of Washington is the offensive coordinator at the Seattle Seahawks. So he clearly understands that offense.
That's going to be bad, bro. That offensive coordinator, Cleveland. I told you in crunch time against Oregon. So those last 4 weeks, he's the reason your quarterback didn't win. He is the sole reason. He's part of the reason your quarterback didn't win.
They beat Oregon twice, so I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, but they beat Oregon twice. Oregon had 2 shots to win that game, and they just didn't win it. They just
didn't win either one of those. Okay, so he beat those guys
late in the game. Yeah, you want to say you just want to look at the end result. I'm telling you how it happened when he called the bonehead plays inside the 20-yard line where they did not score.
So whatever happened, they won those games, and then they beat Texas.
Okay, be happy with that.
And then Michigan, he had a terrible game.
Be happy with they won those games. when he tried to give the game away. Be happy with that. I think that's a terrible.
I didn't say they should necessarily take Penix at 16. I'm just saying if they don't take him at 16, he's probably not going to be available the next time they pick. And
yeah, I hear he's going to be. He's a late round.
To be perfectly fair, I think he had 3 receivers that will go in the top 2 rounds. So if you have 3, first or second round receivers, well, that's a little bit easier to do.
So listen to these numbers, Cleveland. These are stats from quarterbacks in the last 2 seasons.
Okay, stat me to death. Let's do it.
One quarterback threw for 7,500 yards, 7,559, right?
Mm-hmm.
45 passing touchdowns,
mm-hmm.
21 interceptions, a 94.8 completion rating, and a 60% percent completion rating. So they had a 94.8 quarterback rating and a 66 completion rating. The other quarterback threw for 7,900 yards passing, 50 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. So he had more touchdowns, less interceptions, 96.8 QB rating, and a 67% passing completion rating. So a higher completion rating, higher QB rating, less interceptions, more touchdowns, and more yards. Which quarterback would you want?
Well, I mean, just based on the numbers alone, without any type of, analytics to go behind that, I guess we would go with the better numbers.
And you would have just chosen Geno Smith over Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that's why I don't like to get statted to death. There's no frame of reference to it. There's no context. It's just 2 numbers on a piece of paper.
Over the last 2 seasons. That's over the last 2 seasons I gave you. That's a solid. 34 games is a solid sample size.
Oh man,
34 games is not a solid sample size.
That's when you turn into one of them lambda fraternity members.
30. I would think 34 games is a decent sample size, and you can see that he's been
talking about football. It don't mean everything.
Okay. Well, I just sent it to you. You could take a look at the comparison.
Yeah, I know. Matt Leinart was 25-1 his last 2 years at SC. How'd that work out?
Heisman
Trophy Sportsman of the Year.
He went to a team that wanted the quarterback to be
6'5", 235 pounds.
Peyton Manning. They wanted him to be Peyton Manning. He wasn't Peyton Manning. He was more Drew Brees. Not even Drew Brees is too high. He was more of a Brad Johnson.
Whoa. So here's what I'm saying. If you put that resume on the piece of paper next to someone else who had a much better career, you would be like, oh, well, of course I'll take the guy that's 25-1, that's throwing for 9,000 yards and 88 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Well, of course. But without any context to the numbers, then you don't really have a frame of reference to really say what you're talking about.
No, fair point. Warrants have been issued for Rashid Rice for his involvement in the freeway accident in Dallas a few weeks ago. How does this end for Rashid Rice? Does he start the season next year?
Oh, yeah. He'll get that worked out. He didn't kill anybody.
Okay. Thoughts on the NFL expanding uniform policy to allow a third alternate helmet design?
I like it.
Just more money out there, huh?
It's another marketing opportunity.
So you think the Packers or the Eagles are going to unveil a new helmet style?
The Eagles, the Browns, those guys that are hard, the Bears, those guys that are hardcore stay hardcore. That's for them other jokers that need those things to kind of,
to sell their
create
tickets.
a buzz. Yeah, we're the Bears. We're the Browns. We're the Packers. Yeah.
Well, the Packers. The reason I brought up Packers and Eagles because they're going to face those. That's a game in Sao Paulo, Brazil, week 1.
Nope. Bring the helmets.
How do you like the fact that the Eagles lose a home game playing at Eagle Stadium, which I think is pretty weird, and end up playing in Sao Paulo?
Somebody had to lose a home game.
I mean, but the Eagles, like,
hell, that's cool. You go down to Brazil for a game as opposed to
I'm not saying the players
game in January. Like, no, yeah, we'll take a home game now. In September in Brazil, yeah.
And the fans are going to travel, so
they're not traveling to Brazil.
The Philly fans want to travel to Brazil. You don't think so?
They're not sophisticated or affluent enough to even know where Brazil is, man. They're watching it on television.
Whoa, that was some shots at the Eagles fans. My goodness. I didn't say that, Eagles fans. That wasn't me.
I said it. They're not sophisticated or affluent enough to be going down to Brazil for the first game of the NFL season. Not happening. They're not selling it out.
Wow. Cleveland. Scorched earth on Eagles fans. I think the Eagles fans might have something to say against that.
I'm right here.
Wow. Wow, I'm kind of blown away. You caught me off guard with that one, Cleveland. You taking shots at the Eagles fans. That was pretty interesting. Do you think so the Cowboys signed Dak, they restructured the contract and gave Dak a few more dollars. Do you think is this Dak's last season as a Cowboys quarterback?
Depends on how they do.
What do you think they do? I think they're only going to get worse. I don't think they're getting better. Do you think they got better in the offseason?
Not so far. We'll have to see how the draft goes and, how they respond to the adversity.
Yeah, I don't think they don't have a high draft pick, so I don't think they got any better. So we'll see how that works out. Good one. Let's jump into our This Week in History segment. For wrap the show up. Thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is week 287 of the show. One of the things we do different than most podcasts, we got to give you guys a glimpse into the history of what happened here in America, fans. Such as April 9, 1939, singer Marian Anderson performed at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. after she was denied the use of the Constitution Hall by Daughters of the American Revolution because of her race. Cleveland, April 12, 1961, the Civil War began at Fort Sumter, Charleston, South Carolina.
1861.
1961, excuse me, 1861. Back in, again, 1800s was good to America, Cleveland, April 11th, as Spelman College was founded. Bless those.
Happy day for you.
Man, good day for a lot of
Happy day for a lot of us. I'm not trying to just single you out. Yeah, Spelman's the thing.
Happy day for a lot of us. March 8th, 1974, Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's record for most home runs in front of 5,300 Atlanta. Speaking of Atlanta fans, Cleveland, what was the mark? What was that? What was Babe Ruth's mark?
Babe Ruth's mark was 714. Hank hit 715.
And yeah, he and Hank went
and
on.
Then eventually hit 755.
Right, exactly, Boots.
Yup. Blue collar. Brazil's hella far. They don't speak the language, and hey, man, they don't have cheesesteaks down there.
They're going to see their Eagles play, man. They're Eagles fans.
Okay.
4/10/1997, NFL announces it will give $3 million to CFL and possible World Classic Bowl. We never got that bowl. I think the CFL just pocketed that money because I don't remember hearing nothing about the World Classic Bowl. I definitely don't remember seeing a World Classic Bowl in 1997.
No, and like, what were the rules going to be? Like a
they
hybrid of the two rules?
No, they weren't. NFL was not adjusting to anybody else's rules. You know that wasn't happening.
Oh, okay.
But I don't remember hearing anything about this.
I don't recall that at all.
I think the CFL just pocketed. That somebody got over on the NFL.
I remember when the Rocket went up there and won a Grey Cup right quick, and came back down to the NFL. I remember Ricky Williams had to go up there for a minute after the year suspension. So every once in a while, a marquee player goes up there and kind of test the waters, and it's an exciting game. But it's just kind of weird. I mean, the field is so long and
the field's wider. The goalposts are different. So yeah,
they can run up to the line of scrimmage and just take off. I mean, I can't imagine like Tyreek Hill get a running start. Where would you ever?
You're right.
Are you telling me Tyreek Hill can get a running start to the line of scrimmage?
Right.
Never ever happening.
Yeah, I think the CFL though got over on the NFL. They took that $3 million and said, "Yeah, we'll think about it." Apparently, because I don't remember hearing nothing about it. 4/10/1989, Mike Tyson strikes a parking attendant when asked to move his car. That sounds about right. 1989, right? 4/10/2023, Joel Embiid was named scoring champion for the second straight season, averaging 33.1. So Joel was coming on before this injury, man.
Okay.
Cleveland, what's your thoughts? LSU, South Carolina beat Iowa for the NCAA championship. What's your thoughts on? I guess let's go Dawn Staley. Where does she now has 3 championships. What does that rank her as a top women's coach? Is she not Tara Vanderveer? She's not Gina Oriema. She's just right there behind them and just a very good coach. Where do you rank? What's your thoughts on Dawn Staley?
Not quite Pat's on it. Not quite the coach at Rutgers. Vivian something slipping my mind right now. Not quite Louisiana Tech. So top 6. 5-6.
Caitlin announces she's going to the WNBA. Does she take the 14 million viewers with her to the WNBA, Cleveland? Are you looking at Indiana Fever schedule to watch any of her games?
She's
I thought so. Yeah,
she is certainly not. Thank you, Boots. She's certainly not taking all of them, but she will take a good handful, and so it will certainly increase the viewership of the WNBA, and especially if she does well. If she goes to the WNBA, and they're like, all of a sudden she's not pulling from the logo, and all of a sudden, wow, not quite the impact. Sabrina Ionescu, senior year in college to rookie year, it was a transition, right?
Well, she got hurt though. She got hurt in that.
And there were some things, right? But I'm just saying, the level. Thank you for clarifying. But the level of expectation was that she was going to bring all this momentum to the WNBA, and it was just gonna skyrocket. So
I mean, I think people were excited, but once she got hurt, it kind of killed anything.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's all speculation. And right now at present, I mean, if you're striking while the iron is hot, I mean, how many times have we heard in the last couple of days, oh, well, they're moving the Indiana Fever game to this arena. And they're moving things around. It was a 12 o'clock game. Now it's a 6 o'clock game. All those things is great, but it puts a lot of pressure on her to perform at that level. And again, I think I shouldn't say this because we're on.
This is being recorded, man.
My fans, but I think the jump is easier from the college ranks to the WNBA than it is from the college ranks to the NBA. So I think her potential to kind of carry that same type of production to the next level is easier and probably much more likely than it would be if she was going from the college ranks to the NBA. But at the same time, it is the WNBA and they are still ballers. So we'll see, what it is that she's able to do. I think she certainly is going to have to put on some more pounds. She's super, super skinny, man. But watching that South Carolina game, I was concerned because I had money on South Carolina. Fans, I'm a gambler. Not degenerate, but very conservative and very successful in my own right. But I had money on South Carolina, and when she came out just cashing from like Steph Curry,
I was the first quarter.
Extremely concerned.
But you see what Dawn Staley did on Dawn Staley's like, okay, we're putting a bigger girl.
Oh yeah, they threw the swarm on her, and plus, plus Dawn Staley has a roster that's like 10 deep, like first wave and second wave, and then obviously over time, they just keep going to Cardoso, and that was just you're not gonna like stop that over and over again. But yeah, that first I want to say maybe 12 minutes, I was gravely concerned because she was just cash rules from back there, just boom, boom. I was like, oh.
But and so I think in a sense that blueprint has been put out there. Put a bigger girl on her. The WNBA, they're gonna have the talent to kind of put.
Oh no, they're gonna be bigger. I mean, like with everything, they're gonna be bigger and faster and stronger, and they're gonna already know the blueprint for how to stop her. And it's a matter of her raising the level of her game to overcome that. But if you're already starting from, I can hit from 35 out, that's a whole other thing. And it was real consistent. And it was like, okay. And plus she's a great passer. I mean, all these things are, make her extremely marketable and, potentially quite impactful within the WNBA. But, the first season is going to be let's see what you got.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. This is an interesting play here where Joker just punked the defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert. Rudy flopped. It was kind of a funny play. Rudy flopped on a steal attempt. Joker kind of pushed him out the way, but lost the ball. The guard got the ball, passed it back to Joker at the top of the key. Joker went to drive right in Rudy's chest. And then again, Rudy flopped underneath the backboard, complaining for a call. Joker lay in and go into the free throw line. But the Timberwolves are up by 5 right now, or now it's a 3-point game.
That's interesting. What quarter is it?
Midway through the third quarter.
Okay, cool. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think Caitlin, obviously she's gonna have to put on some muscle, but as you just discussed, the book has been put out on her on how to play, and I think the WNBA women are going to be able to contend with her. I think what she's going to be facing, and what is going to be interesting to see, why it will draw some eyes, is people are going to want to see, can she do what she did in college against the WNBA? And I think kind of like Pat Beverly against Lonzo Ball when he came into the league, like. And his dad was Big Baller Brand, about to take over the NBA. My son is better than Magic Johnson, et cetera, et cetera. These players are going to be waiting on Caitlin to come into the league.
And that's cool. And that's the part that I forgot to accentuate. Just because you know how to stop somebody does not mean that you can stop somebody from cashing from 35 feet out. And if she's really actually doing that, and she was really actually doing that against South Carolina, I was a nervous wreck.
That lasted a quarter. Cleveland. That didn't even last a half. It didn't even.
Hey, Cam, she was the only game in town. She was the only offense for that team. If she goes to a team that can do other things, other players can help. Wow.
Wow. We'll see. I don't dare I say she's going to be average, but I don't see her making a major mark. I mean, she's just going to be another player. She's just going to be another player in the WNBA.
No.
I don't think she's going to be. I think she's just going to be another player. Like, she's not like taking the Indiana Fever to the WNBA championship next season. Like, that's not happening. Like, there's steps are going to have to be taken. The steps are going to have to be made.
Okay, I see you trying to put obstacles in her path because you don't like the course that she's on. That's interesting.
No, I'm not. I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent about the situation, but she's not winning the WNBA champion. It's not like she's coming in and taking the Indiana Fever to the championship next year. That's not happening.
Perhaps not, but I think she's coming in averaging 20 a game.
Okay, and what they're going to win? They played 35 games. What they're going to win 17 games?
So they didn't make the playoffs last year. I think they will make the playoffs this year.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see. We'll have to revisit the show here.
Pretty sure Caitlin will be the rookie of the year. So,
well, yeah, she's gonna be. If she does anything, if she has a halfway decent season, she's gonna be rookie of the year.
Well, then you're just carding all the other players, and you're contradicting your statement because you don't think she's going to have that kind of impact. You just said,
yeah, you're right. I don't. I don't. You're not gonna convince me that Caitlin's gonna come in here and turn the WNBA upside down. Now, will people come out to watch her? Yeah, they're gonna want to watch and see kind of can she do it. She's gonna increase the fans in the stands. Obviously, people know that she's going to. Good thing that Iowa, she's going to be in her hometown, so that they're going to be.
No. She's from Iowa, but she's going into Indiana.
Or excuse me, they're neighboring, close enough.
They're close
enough. I mean, how far? What are they? 300 miles apart. She's going to be close enough. It's going to be like a Iowa home game. Close enough. UConn beats Purdue. I was not impressed. These people in Indianapolis. Yeah, I believe it. What else is there?
Absolutely. It's the biggest thing since Reggie Miller, right? I mean,
I believe
Reggie Miller even wasn't that big when they drafted him. He became that.
Right. Yeah.
Biggest thing since Peyton.
I believe that certainly. Cleveland, UConn beats Purdue in an unimpressive game, and that was an ugly game. Did you enjoy the game? Did you have money on the game?
Yeah,
that was very impressive.
Yeah, the college kids were so predictable, and thank you to all of them, man. Thank you
to this guy.
Thank you to UConn. Thank you to Purdue. Thank you to South Carolina. Thank you. You just did what you were supposed to do in the manner in which you were supposed to do it in.
So you had what? UConn plus 10?
Yeah.
That's what you had?
Yeah. I'm sorry, 7.5. I had UConn minus 7.5.
Oh, okay. I mean, that was an easy pick right there. That was a decent pick. But was that was an ugly basketball game, was it not? Like, I literally turned the game off in the midway through the second half.
It was a great game. They just imposed their will upon them.
I didn't think it was a great game. Nobody.
And now because you're talking about him, I forgot my guy's name that I wanted to give so much praise to.
Swinging?
No.
Not Zach Edey.
No.
Zach Edey played horrible. He had a early 5 minutes of the game was solid. After that, After he got a couple fouls, he was done. That was an ugly game, man. That was an ugly basketball game. I stopped watching in the second quarter or midway through the second half. It was like 10 minutes left.
So
I
you were just pouting, like disappointed because what you thought was
No.
going to happen didn't
I
happen.
was looking for a good basketball game. That was not a good basketball game. The team
That wasn't a basketball game.
Huh?
It went down exactly the way it was supposed to.
Okay, well,
Castle. Stephon Castle.
It doesn't ring a bell.
He's the 6'6" point guard that's going to be a top 5 pick in the NBA next year.
Did he
for real
for UConn?
Yeah. I didn't realize he was 6'6", and I didn't realize he was that filthy. But
Filthy. I was unimpressed by it. There was nobody on the floor. Again, and I tweeted that Braden Smith kid looked better than in the first half.
Yeah, that was weird. And that was like what what game you watched? Like backcourt play, and like the other team has Stephon Castle, like 6'6".
Yeah, I was not impressed. I was not impressed with nobody on that floor, really. Zach Edey, I didn't think had a good game.
6'6" point guards should always impress you.
I was not impressed. Again, I was not impressed with that. I thought it was a terrible game myself.
6'6" point guards should always impress you.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way. Again, I was not impressed.
No, he's way bigger than Jaden Ivey. 6'6".
Jaden
Ivey's like 6'2". No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. I would say I go back and watch it. I'm not going back to watch that garbage. It was from what I saw, it was garbage. Not
Jaden
impressive.
Ivey is more of a Ja Morant. Like that's his comp. He's just not as good as Ja. But no, this dude Castle, like okay. I mean, I'm not sure he's gonna come back for college because he already won a national championship. What more can you do? And you're probably going to be a top 5. I'm projecting a little bit high because I haven't seen the the mock drafts, but somewhere between 5 and 10. Yeah, it's time to go.
So, if Klingon, so I said Klingon had played his way into a top 5 draft pick, top 5 situation the week before or after. What is that? Not Monday night's game, but Saturday's game. Klingon had played his way into a top 5 draft pick. Edey, in the first 10 minutes of that game, I thought played his way into a top 10 scenario, but then they played the rest of the half, and then the first half of the other game, and he was stonewalled, couldn't do anything. Looked like he was lost out there.
I think he ended up with. I mean, a lot of it was a little, after the fact, but
I mean, they start gearing up towards him and playing him.
37 and 10, 15 for 25 from the field.
But that's what he finished with. He finished the game with that. Yeah. Not. Yeah.
I mean, obviously the numbers are inflated, right? Because they were down for quite a bit of when he was probably doing a lot of that, but it's still 37 and 10.
Does that translate?
I think it's more than half of their points, right?
Yeah, because they only scored 50.
They scored 60 and he had 37. Yeah. So
Did he play his way into a top 10 scenario?
Depends on those teams, depends on what they need. It depends on the combine. But I think so. I mean, probably more on the back end of that, because what you're going on in the NBA draft these days is not necessarily what a player has done or what they've proven. It's more based upon their potential, right? Yeah. And so if you think that he's already at his ceiling and this is as best as he's going to get, then he's more like a 10 to 15 guy. If you think that there's like some upside to this and you can do certain things to make him even better than this, then that's when you start getting from that 10 to 5. But he's probably more like the 10 to 15 range.
Yeah, I think probably 10 to 15. Again, the first 10 minutes of the game that actually mattered. I thought the way he was playing against Klingon, I think he drove 2 early fouls against him, if I'm not mistaken. that kind of helped him get going a little bit. But that was early in the game.
But
Later
again,
on,
you have to remember he's not going to be playing against Klingons too often. He's not going to be playing against Vicks too often. Most of the players that he's going to be playing against are going to be 6'10" to 7 foot, and it's just an advantage as soon as you step on the court. Now, you could say that same thing about a lot of other players that have been that size and not been particularly successful. But I just think that he's different.
well, we'll see. The extra year in college probably helped his game a little bit. Helped his low post moves.
I'm sure it helped him with his left hand for sure.
Right. And is he going to be able to bring that into the NBA? Does he? I mean, he had the ball. Whether he had the ball low or tried to dribble the ball or had it high, they were still ripping the ball from him.
That was the concern I had in the Final Four game, that he kept bringing the ball down, and they were just picking him left and right. It's like, why are you dribbling, and why are you bringing the ball below your waist? Like, every big man knows this. Keep the ball above your head. And when you're 7'4", there's no one that's gonna get it from you. So that's when you get the advantage, because you dribble too slow and it's too far for the ball to come back up to your hand. So there's plenty of time to steal it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I definitely think Klingon. He's in his. Can he win 3 in a row? Do you see him coming out this year, or does he go back and win?
I cannot project what a team is going to do because of the portal and because of people.
No, but I'm saying him. Does he come out? Does he come out of college, or does he go for 3 in a row?
Well, you can't say he's going for 3 in a row because you don't know who's leaving and you don't know who's entering the transfer portal.
Well, I mean, they still either way.
It's hard to predict.
If he was there with a bunch of freshmen, he'd be playing for his 3rd national championship in a row.
Well, okay, so if Castle comes back, yeah, they could easily win a 3rd national championship.
But would you advise Klingon to come out, or would you advise him to stay in college?
I would advise him to listen to what the scouts and the GMs have to say, and if it's not favorable, then go back to college.
I mean, he's going to be a top 10 pick. If he came out, has to be a top 5 pick. Nobody's playing. Nobody's playing with the defense.
Let's not do the Francisco Garcia thing. Like, what is this all about, man? Like, if you're already going to be a top 10 pick, then I mean, you've already won back-to-back national championships. Then there's nothing more to accomplish. So why are you coming back here?
Because I mean, he doesn't have an offensive game. I think his game is more predicated on defense. He may get some lobs and whatnot, but
it can only go backwards from here, right? You're a top 10 pick. You've won back-to-back national championships. You're only giving yourself more opportunity to either expose your weaknesses or get into more trouble. Take the money.
No,
let's not do the Felipe Lopez thing where what are we doing here?
It's different. I think I don't think. I don't know this, but it's 6'11" white dude. I don't know that he's
7'2" white dude. Yeah,
so I don't know that he's Felipe Lopez and need to take care of his family.
But you understand my point, right? Like
I'm saying he can get better. He can develop an offensive game.
Then you have a chance for it to get super cold, and then for it not to even exist anymore. So why not do it when you're 6'10", 2-time? Or I'm sorry. Now I'm listening to you. Why not do it when you're 7'2", a top 10 pick, and you've won back-to-back national championships? This is the best time for you to go pro.
Yeah, and I think he'd be easily a top 10
unless the scouts say, "Hey, I'm not sure you're going to be a top 10 pick. You might be late 20s, early 30s." Oh, okay.
No,
back to UConn we go.
I can't see that.
But who's good? But right, it's kind of unrealistic to think that that's going to happen, right?
Okay, fans. It was announced earlier this evening. Shohei Ohtani, his interpreter, Ippy Mizuhara, pled guilty for the gambling scandal.
It sure is. I don't know if you saw the game today, Boots, but Mariners bounced back. I was pleasantly surprised. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this Cubs weekend series. Might have to get to one of those.
Boots, we don't talk Mariners until they're above 500. Right now, they're but they're below 500. They're 2-7 of their last 10 games. My only question for Cleveland about the Mariners, Boots, is how soon before Metro League high schools start playing in that stadium?
I'm so sorry, Cam. You were saying something about the gambler.
No, I was asking. Boots brought up a very good point,
and whether the FBI is still involved. I wanted to interject on that.
Well, we'll come back to that. But the question on the table right now is how soon before the Metro League high school teams get to play and take over T-Mobile Stadium, because maybe
they don't have Seattle see some wins, and the owners are all about creating more revenue, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. But back to the liar.
The liar, Ippy Mitsuhara. Yeah, he pled guilty.
No, I'm talking about Shohei Ohtani is who I was talking about.
Series of the year. The Cubs will probably sweep them, Boots. I'll give you go ahead early on the prediction line. The Cubs will probably go 3-0, or however many games, 3 or 4-0, because the Mariners stink, Boots. It's no real competition. But Ohtani's ex-interpreter pled guilty to the gambling scandal. That's it. He pled guilty. There's no more talk, no more. This absolves Shohei Ohtani from any wrongdoings.
Okay, well, Cam, my sources tell me. Can you see my phone? Okay, well, my sources tell me that the investigation is still ongoing. The FBI is still doing a thorough scrub of everything. So although he tried to fall on the sword like you asked him to do, yeah, it's
like
not.
I asked him to do. I didn't ask him to do it.
You absolutely said that's what he should do.
Well, yeah, it made sense, but
okay, yeah. You asked him to do it. You basically demanded that he do it. Like you've been watching Shogun on FX or something. Like, to say, man, do the right thing. Like a Spike Lee movie. But no, the FBI is still investigating, so it's not over. I know you were hoping it was over.
It's over. It's over. There's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Moving right along.
Mm-mm.
As he should, Boots. What did he do wrong? He didn't do nothing wrong. His interpreter, Boots. I don't know about you.
You even heard Moriko is under investigation right now as well, man. Yeah, no, there's some other stuff going on.
Man, this is a witch hunt. Anything else? Anything further is a witch hunt.
Nope.
So, Cleveland, if De La Cruz from the Cincinnati Reds, if he can throw a fastball, he probably can't throw a fastball. The arm he has. But if he can pitch every 5 days, he might rival Shohei as the most exciting player in baseball. The kid hit 2 home runs from each side of the plate the other day, and from the right hand he hit an inside the park home run. What you think of De La Cruz?
Great player, nice and wiry. Doing some big things over there in Cincinnati. A top 7 to 10 player in this league.
7 to 10 player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But behind Shohei, he's the most exciting player in the league, right?
Personally, I think Ronald Acuna Jr. is the most exciting player in the league.
Oh, fair enough. So he's top 3 exciting players in the league. I mean,
I said 7 and 10. You put him. You try to throw him up way up higher than he deserved. But yeah, 7 and 10.
I don't know how many other players will switch hitting like that and have the speed and the arm that he has. I mean, you saw him throw the dude out from left field to right field, right? Mm-hmm. Or left field to third base.
Sure.
Left field to home. You saw that. Like, what he do? Did that in one game? I mean, what more you want to see from the kid?
Well, it's 162 game season, so Those first 10 games were impressive. 152 to go.
You hating on the young man. I got you. Cleveland, what is more difficult to complete in baseball? What's the more difficult record to break in baseball than the back-to-back no-hitters from Vandermeer's years ago? Are you going to say Cal Ripken's, 1,900 games that he played consecutive, or the Hit Kings record? What's a more difficult record to break than the back-to-back no-hitters?
Cal Ripken's record is absolutely unbreakable. It's like 2,400 consecutive games.
Well, yeah, I mean, nobody's going to break that record. He did that like 17 years. He didn't come off the field.
Well, yeah.
I mean, and the story goes, many times he, was playing with broken bones and probably shouldn't have started, but because of the streak,
got his nose broken in the All-Star game picture thing. He had a picture fiasco. Somebody fell back, broke his nose. Kept
playing. I mean, do you want to give a Mariner a minute since Boots is checking you out?
So, yeah, thanks, Boots. I appreciate that. I've been very down and say around the Mariners fans, as everyone knows, but I had the opportunity and the pleasure to see them do some truly cool things today. Turn the game on, 7th inning. It was 1-0. They were up. Their third best pitcher, Logan Gilbert, was on the mound. Gave up a home run to Vlad Guerrero Jr. I was like a little bit concerned. 7th inning, but he pitched 7 2/3, got him 1-1. Reliever came in, 9th inning, bases and walked the bases loaded, but then got out of the jam. Top of the 10th, Cal Raleigh hit a 2-run home run. They added 3 more extra runs, won that game 6-1. I was pleasantly surprised. Was not expecting that from them. Can they use this as a springboard to greater things? We'll see. We'll see how they do against the Cubs when they come in over the weekend. But I was not expecting that. It was all doom and gloom around here. So, big ups to the Mariners for getting off the snide a little bit.
Are they even 500?
No, 5-8.
I mean, and you want to say you trying to give credit to them? Were they? They're with that win, that takes them out the bottom of the division, huh? 3-7 in the last 7 games. Chicago has nothing to worry about, Boots, coming to town. I mean, you bring in Chicago coming to town has nothing, no concern in the world. I mean, where's Chicago right now? The Cubs 7-5, 583. Look at that, 7-3 in their last 10 games. Yeah, Boots. This is a pad your stats type of game.
Oh yeah, my man, that was Richie Zisk. Love it.
Who the hell is Richie Zisk?
Oh man, you know Richie? He was a hitting machine.
How many games did the Mariners win with Ricky Zisk on the team? Richie Zisk on the team.
It was kind of a little bit after the like inauguration season, but yeah, no, he was one of the originals.
Original what?
Mariners. Oh, goodness gracious. Like a Bruce Bhakti or what's my man's name? Jack Percante. These kind of cats, man. Like
Ricky Zisk played for the White Sox. That's where you remember him from.
No, he played for the Mariners before that.
Oh, this dude played with the star M on his head. Harold Reynolds is different. Now Harold Reynolds was a legitimate.
Harold Reynolds is way down the line. Come on, man.
Didn't Harold Reynolds make an All-Star game?
I'm talking about like Floyd Bannister types, man. I'm talking like back in the day, like way back.
Yeah.
Julio Cruz, Rupert Jones, type cats, like back in the day.
81, 82, 83 is when he played for the a long time ago, fellas.
Okay.
Yeah. The Mariners weren't even worth watching then. They weren't even worth
They were
watching.
barely over expansion, right? And so
Yeah.
he, my man Boots can go back to those days, reminisce.
Spike Owens. Yeah, I remember Spike. Dave Henderson at the end of his the Mariners, that's how
Before that. See, you don't even remember history.
Dave Henderson was at the end of his career playing for the Mariners.
No. It was before that. He was at the beginning of his career, and then he got traded to Boston, and then he got traded to Oakland. He's the one that hit the home run against the Angels to carry Boston into the 86 World Series. But that's a story for another time.
I mean, I'm looking up Henderson. Dave Henderson played in the yeah, okay, you're right. He started with the Seahawks or started with the Mariners to 85 and then went to Boston in 86. There you go. Again, Mariners can't keep any good players. There it is right there. There's another example of any good players go all the way there. The Mariners been a farm team for the Major League Baseball since they came into the league. That's what they've been. A farm team for Major League Baseball since they came into the league. And, I hate to say it, my man's going to be mad at me when I say this, but Julio Francisco Rodriguez won't be a Mariner in 2 years. He's going to be with the Dodgers, Angels, the Rockies.
Well, it won't be with the Angels or the Rockies. So
or the Astros.
No,
he might be a Yankee before it's all said and done.
Well,
I mean, I'm not rooting for it. I'm just saying
I'm not rooting for it either. But
that's the history of how what's going to happen to good Mariners players. I mean,
he can't wear 44 because it's retired, so he's gonna have to find another number.
Answer this. How shocked were you when they paid Robinson Cano? How stunned were you when they actually?
I was so pleasantly surprised, and I was so surprised that the Yankees didn't give him the extra 2 years. It had always been their MO, and he was the heir apparent to the superstar status. It's like, why are you doing this guy like this? And then when they did it, and the Mariners said, "Yeah, we'll give it to you," and he was like, "Yeah, I'm down." I was like, "Oh my God, Robinson Cano!"
Right. And then 2 years later, he gets
no
hit.
Come on, man. See,
how long was it? It wasn't. It was like 2 weeks. It was like 2 weeks later he gets hit for PEDs, and he's gone for a year.
He was here for 7 years, man.
I didn't say, but it was like 2 weeks after he came in here, he got hit with the PEDs.
It was like
they're a farm team. They're a farm team.
7 years.
Boots.
I think he was an all-star 5 of those years.
When did he get popped for PEDs? How long after
7 years?
It was after 7 years he got popped?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that timeline. I don't remember, but I'm not sure about the timeline.
I know, clearly.
Yeah, I don't remember because the Mariners stink. All right, they stink. Franklin, Garfield, Roosevelt, Cleveland, Rainier Beach, all Chief South, West Seattle, all them teams should be playing baseball at T-Mobile Arena. They might get more fans. They might get more fans that way. I mean, but they signed Sirianno. Like the Cubs had the Cubs kind of
the Cubs didn't get as much production out of Alfonso Soriano as the Mariners got out of.
No, he got hurt if I remember correctly. But he got hurt. Didn't he get hurt? Like break his wrist or something like that?
He just wasn't the same player and not having the same production.
Once he left New York.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird. I thought he got
second baseman aplenty over there for a minute.
Yeah. Fans, thank you guys for tuning in. Boots chiming in with his baseball history. I like that, Boots. You got to keep us honest over here because I do the best I can, but the Mariners
and Cam is just getting up to speed, so it takes a little bit of time.
The Mariners stink. The Mariners stink. That's the bottom line. Fans, we end the show every week. We end the show with a quote. We end the show with a quote to help motivate you guys, inspire you guys throughout the rest of the week. Before you see us on Sunday. Here's the quote I'm going to end the show with tonight. Shallow men believe in luck. Straw men believe in cause and effect. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Once again, for those in the back, shallow men believe in luck. Strong men believe in cause and effect. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Give Cleveland a round of applause for being a part of the show tonight. I want to thank you guys for being a part of the show tonight. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you, Boots Barry, for chiming in with your feedback. Appreciate it. Fans, look for us next week. We're gonna have we should have Tyler Dragon join the show. Talk NFL draft. NFL heavy on the NFL draft, and then we'll be starting it. Well, we'll be in the middle of the play-in tournament. We'll see who asked it or play-in tournament.
And by then, by that time, fans, the NBA playoff manifesto should have been, publicized.
And you guys can read it. You guys can read. You guys can read our content.
Fans are so perfect.
Voiceofthefans.org.
Beautiful.
We'll see. You guys will be able to gauge Cleveland's content and what it means to the NBA, and see if there's any legitimacy. I'm gonna let you guys be the vote on that.
It is.
See if there's any legitimacy. Again, that will be posted this weekend, so you can check us out on voiceofthefans.org. Check out all of our content. If you missed a podcast, you can find links to the current podcast, voiceofthefans.org. Check for us on Sunday as well for our Sunday special. Thank you guys for tuning in, fans. Give yourselves a round of applause once again. And as always, thank you for making our voice your choice.